Hello there, friends. So what I'm going to show you today is a real quick video, so don't hang up. I'm going to show you another way. This is a different way of starting and finishing a French stitch, and I'll explain that all here in a second. So after sewing your two pieces together, what we do when you sew your French stitch, as you may or may not know, depending on your skill level, what you do is you spread this here on the back side as you're sewing on the top side. So we will start there. So this is another method. Let me explain the one thing. Sometimes when people do a French stitch, what they'll do is they will start the stitch and then they'll do a lock stitch, and then they'll continue to do a lock stitch. But the problem with that is it looks really bad, and sometimes if you don't sew the two pieces together, you might see the extra thread there, and that also looks really bad. So don't do that. That's why I'm showing you this other method here, so that way you can do better. So this new method, oh, I should also say, sometimes people, they don't even lock the stitch. What they'll do is just do one stitch across the top without locking either end. And sometimes that loose end there can come loose and it could unravel. And it could loosen the stitch near the ends here. And your finished product has loose thread and that looks bad. Don't do that too. Okay, so this is what I'm going to explain. This is how I usually start one and stop one. So what I do is I get close to the edge of the material right here. Make sure the back is spread out. I always hold my threads. Start my stitch. You don't have to lock stitch anything. So put the needle where you want it. And I usually sink the needle down into the material, that way when you lift your foot you can pivot it and it's not going to go anywhere. That's a tip number 5432. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we're going to start our French stitch. Make sure everything is doubled up like this on the bottom. Go ahead and just start your stitch. Get close to the edge, right there. Okay, do your pivot, and at a number 7 setting on the stitch length, I usually go 1, 2 to the other side. So now what you just did is you joined the two pieces of material here together again. So we're going to go ahead and continue and finish off this other side of the French stitch. And when you get to the other end, we're going to pivot again and watch this. And that's how you end it. So what we end up with here when we're all finished is our French stitch without a lock stitch on the end and without a loose stitch on the end, and you can see where we started here on the edge and we finished on the edge. What do you think about that one? So let me know in the comments. Short and quick. Till next time, we'll see ya.